This is a direct quote from the last print interview from Anton LaVey in MF Magazine, 1997.
The Church of Satan will be the pivotal point for an acknowledged belief system of the 21st century, incorporating significant numbers of people. After I am gone, no single individual will serve to lead the organization. Rather, it will consist of a syndicated group of leaders presided over by a chairman. The Satanic Army is comprised of individuals, not cultists.
Regardless of his stated wishes, Peter Gilmore has crafted himself as the Magus. He is interpreting the philosophy and applying it to today's issues in a way that he sees fit. LaVey's body of work and what he has left stands on its own. It does not need to be interpreted into anything or added onto. Awesome. That's my take, gentlemen.
Okay.
And that's the intro to the show.
Hail Satan.
And I would like to welcome back P Hale, good friend of ours, and Stephen Leyba, who I just caught up with about a month ago, had pizza at my brother's restaurant with. He's a fine gentleman. He's definitely a Satanist and an individual and a wonderful artist.
Thank you. Thanks for the pizza and the beer.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
The handguns and the firearms.
It's good to be back.
The explosives, the shrunken heads. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, what do you got planned for us? You brought us all together.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a long time brewing for me. The recent essays that have been posted by Central, by Peter and Peggy, did not sit well with me. We've all been silenced in one way or another on their groups. And to me, the Church of Satan and Satanism is way more than an online club. And really, it's been reduced to an online club as far as I can see. And
I had my falling out on MySpace 2000.
Yeah, imagine that. So Cheryl had written an email to Peter Gilmore and received a reply back. And I was recently privy to reading that reply back, Cheryl. And the tone that he took with my wife is unacceptable. If another man spoke to my wife in that tone, in my presence, I would probably wipe the floor with his face. So that made my mind up when she recently shared that email with me. And his last words to her were, here's the link to resign. So the writing's on the wall. They don't want us there because we think for ourselves and we're not part of their herd. I've never felt that I was part of their club. So here I am. I presented it to a few individuals, and you guys popped up and said that you would be willing to do it. So
this is recent. I mean, you were in what they call good standing recently, right?
Yeah.
So this is...
I kind of led into a little bit of my dissatisfaction over pizza with you, Stephen, and
hanging out.
Like I said, this is a long thought out process for me because I'm a Satanist, and the reason for me coming on a show is I don't want them to have an opportunity to label me as a detractor or a thief. I have fulfilled all of my business agreements with them. I have paid them their percentage for every piece of art that I've sold with a Baphomet on it.
Oh,
I'm a man of my word. I'm not a thief. I'm not a detractor. I'm just here speaking my mind. And I have the right to do so. And as a Satanist, you can't stop me.
But that seems the thing that they do when you leave, picked out, a detractor or a non-Satanist or a pseudo-Satanist or a satanic wannabe, whatever they're throwing out there these days, and it's like all of a sudden you're magically not a Satanist anymore because you're not a member. It's the most ridiculous thing.
Right, but like technically I'm still a member I was friends with Peter and Peggy. I stayed at their house, but when I started asking like questions about what's up with Stanton and Boyd Rice, Peggy's like, yeah, a lot of people that stayed at my house have betrayed us. And it was really weird because their dog started barking at me, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm on the outs for asking the wrong questions. So by the time it's 666, Gilmore called me. He said that Leyba is a caricature of nonconformity. And basically my experience in 2006 was a lot of people, especially Gilmore, were going to get like contracts for movies and recording contracts, and it was going to be great, and that didn't happen. And I was upset that they were misrepresenting the rituals that they were doing at the Steve Allen Theater as like everybody does these rituals. I'm like, no, these are like political theater. These are like political, like art, like the American Indian movement, the Black Panthers. LaVey did the first gay wedding. It's like these were important things. They're not like something that we do on the weekend. So I said, I went and I said, like, look, sorry, but I'm going to boycott. And that really pissed them off. And we're all white, and that made them even more. And then I talked to the BBC, and the BBC said that Leyba is the Martin Luther of Satanism. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm going to use that. And I did the worst thing possible. I went to Stanton and Szandor's wedding.
I had a nightmare. Sorry, go ahead.
But what would Satan do? He'd go to the better party. You had like Hank III, you got Danzig, 45 Grave. I never met Stanton, but I'm going to go to that party. My friend Stephen Kasner, the painter, was going. He was being shunned just for being friends with Stanton, and I'm like, you're still my friend. I don't care who you're friends with. It's not high school.
Yeah. This dictation.
I got all the tickets thrown at me because I was part of the upper echelon, and I felt like I was the token brown person lefty,
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the hierarchy dinner, and like there's all these racist jokes happening, and I'm like, what the heck? And I brought some artwork to show, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, that's nice, whatever. And I'm like, okay, what? This is your MO now? And always, I was like one of the people that always Peter and Peggy said, talk to the press, and then they said, no, you can't talk to the press. So you didn't fill out the forms, and I'm like, well, you didn't tell me. I came here. You could have like told me I got to fill out forms if I want to talk to the press. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
So they pulled the whole, like, I call it the hysterical woman defense. All of a sudden, Leyba's all drugged out and drunk, and he's crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't changed. Everyone else is different, but I haven't changed.
Yeah.
But it's about personal liberty.
What is that?
Yeah.
That was my computer. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I fixed it.
But this dictation about who's a friend and who's not a friend, and who you are allowed to associate with, and then they get everybody on board with this. Well, you're not allowed to associate with this person anymore, even though Satanism is supposed to be about individuality and about your own life and experiences.
Personal liberty.
Yeah, if someone that they personally do not like, or for whatever reason, and you find pleasure in their company and you come to love them or cherish them, that's what Satanism's about. But they have to dictate that you can't be friends with them. If you are, now you're guilty by association, and it just sounds a little Catholic to me. No,
absolutely. And I'm like, I love it. Man. People can say whatever they want to about me. It's great. I mean, I'd rather have a conversation with someone I disagree with. I can learn more.
I love it when
people get bad.
They don't like learning. They got, they want you to burn a book before it hits Amazon. It's weird.
Yeah, LaVey once said, "Divided we stand, and united we fall." That seems to be where we're at now.
Yeah, I could see the falling. You know what it is? I always heard the term LaVeyan Satanism and Gilmorian Satanism, and I was like, no, that's ridiculous. But what happened to me, people know what happened. I do see the difference. I really do. And this is not detracting of the Church of Satan. I love the Church of Satan, the idea of the Church of Satan. LaVey started the Church of Satan. But today's Church of Satan it's just something different. In my observation and experience, it has become something other than what LaVey intended. But Jeff,
what makes the Church of Satan so unique, so different in today's world?
Yeah, I was just going
I
to
mean,
kind of add on to something that he had stated a moment ago. When you're talking about how cliquish things have gotten, it's kind of like when you start a new job and people go up to you and they start warning you about this person and that person. Well, how do I know you're not the asshole? I'm going to make that decision on my own based on my personal interactions with the
Yeah.
person. So I think
exactly.
them going around and telling people, what kinds of questions you can ask, fuck that. That's the most anti-satanic thing I have ever heard.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
LaVey said,
Right.
question all things. Gilmore
What was
says,
it
question nothing.
in the Satanic Bible? Like things that maybe they liberated us at one point, and I'm just paraphrasing, but now they're chains. So it's like a lot of people, and I, it's like I can name call, forever now, and I can fight whoever, but it doesn't matter to me personally because it's like, what do these people accomplish, with their satanic philosophy? That's what I'm interested in, their actual accomplishments and what they're doing now, rather than who they're friends with. I don't care. I don't care what people
Well, I can
think.
tell you that the true people that are out accomplishing things aren't sitting on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not like, yeah. I only get on Facebook when I'm blacked out drunk. It makes more sense then.
Right. So, Adam, you wanted to read something and have everyone else read something that they're going to be sending to Central post haste.
I have a lot to read here, and it might take some editing when I stumble upon my words.
Read it, man. Just get it out and.
Okay. Well, Cheryl and I wrote something.
Read it word for
together.
word, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I just know you wanted to get it out.
Cheryl and I wrote something together, and she did a lot of this actually. It's a little story, and it's kind of a hypothetical story. If Anton LaVey was around today,
Okay.
I'll just start from the top and see where it goes. As the clock strikes 12 o'clock midnight, Dr. LaVey sits down in his favorite chair with a cup of Folgers Crystal coffee and boots up his laptop. He signs on to Facebook and loads up the Church of Satan official group. He sees what he thinks might turn into a heated argument. He locks that thread. He then sees a few people discussing the Temple of the Vampire. Oh shit, we better lock that thread too. Next, he sees a picture of a man dressed as a woman, complaining that she cannot find a job and is very unhappy. Let's give that post a like, since that person is expressing their freedom, even though it's detrimental to his or her well-being. Expressing oneself is the most important thing, after all. He determines that he's done enough internet chat room policing for now and moves on to his next goal. He has decided that he's going to side with a specific political group. It does seem kind of odd, you're right, champion one group over the other, simply because this group has been oppressed in the past. At first, he might champion the blacks over the whites because of slavery. But then he decided the LGBTQ group, since everyone's doing that right now. Look at Coca-Cola. Look at Disney with their rainbow flag products. Dr. LaVey, complete with a sinister laugh, thinks, I'm going to get on that ticket. Money, money, money. Dr. LaVey is very satisfied with his new creation, a rainbow flag featuring the Baphomet. He is fully aware that the Satanic Temple has already created this flag, but he doesn't mind, and he looks forward to seeing it carried in the next Pride Parade. Great advertising for the church. He hopes that gay people will seek out membership because the COS was the first religion to accept homosexuals. While scrolling through the website, he comes across an article entitled Satanic Bunko Sheet. He giggles to himself while thinking about how the article is telling all of his church members not to dare look into other churches. Yet, he has the Temple of the Vampire listed as an affiliated and appreciated society. Right on his website. Why? Well, no one knows. I mean, of course, people question it, but those people are shut down right away. Sure, it makes it look like there's something to hide, and usually things that are hidden have to do with money, kickbacks, maybe even a tax shelter. An idea stolen from the Christian church. Ding, a notification from eBay. A piece of the Black House. Okay, admittedly, this doesn't really work since he's sitting in the Black House, but let's go with it. The official stance is that no pieces of the Black House exist. When it was demolished, there was nobody there to take pieces. We know this because there was somebody from the church standing guard the whole time, right? Yeah, right. Okay, so we've interviewed Diego Domingo, who was there. Diego was there. He received bricks from the front porch, stones from the altar, door casings from the den of iniquity, a hinge from one of the doors in the house, and the skeleton key to the front door. We have photographic evidence of this. We have photographic evidence of the contractor actually handing him the key as well. Michael Blythe has a piece of the purple room, a stone from the altar, and a piece of the ritual chamber, along with some random textured wallpaper from the house. Dennis McCalley, who was one of Anton LaVey's allocates, Perry Cosseboom spoke about him on our last episode, was there for the demolition. Photographic evidence exists, so it is tough for the doctor to refute, yet he sticks to his stance. There are no pieces of the Black House in existence. I assume there is a logical and rational reason for this stance, but I'm not. It just makes Peter Gilmore look like a nut with his article on the Church of Satan website stating that there are no pieces of the Black House. Don, you and I both have a piece of the Black House with a letter of authenticity from Diego Domingo and photographic evidence that he was there.
Yep.
So why is this an issue? It seems like they got the goods on everybody, and at any point they can go like, oh, we don't like you anymore because of this, this, and this, or you had pizza with this person, or you got a piece of the Black House or whatever. I don't.
Well, I'm just stating obvious
Yeah.
discrepancies on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's politics and it's business, and it's
Absolute
it's institutional Satanism, and they want to control the narrative, as any cult leader. But the thing is, the history of cults, you can't have somebody coming up second to bat, like you were saying, like with your piece that you just read. There can't be no charismatic second leader of any cult. But there's a lot of people that want to ride Gilmore's coattail, but what has he accomplished?
Right.
I was friends with him.
I've got
for
a little
years.
bit more to read.
Yeah,
He
Adam,
told me
so he
he was
has
going to
more.
write the Satanic Scriptures, and it was going to be a continuation of LaVey's philosophy. And then when it came out, it was just a reprint of Black Flame articles, and they're like contradictory, and all these like rhetorical atheistic things that were like, okay, well, that's your opinion. And then my friend Reverend Chris X published it, so I actually did a visual critique of the Satanic Scriptures. I took a shit on the cover of the book and put it all over the internet. And I said, this is my book review. Did you not?
I have to see this picture.
Yeah. Oh, man.
They're going on eBay for about $2,000 or $3,000 for original print sign.
Wow.
For original pieces of fecal matter.
Yeah, sign in fecal matter on the back.
Adam, continue, please. Wow.
Okay. You don't know how the doctor would have reacted to the world nowadays. And of course, neither do I. But I'd like to think that he wouldn't be particularly supportive of his members under the guise of Satanism attending parades supported by Google and YouTube, as the San Francisco Pride Parade was supported with last year. Satanism to be involved with such a fashionable cause. Anton LaVey was an outsider and a champion of fellow deviants. The LGBTQ community is not a community of outsiders, not anymore. They were back then, but not anymore. They're now a protected class. If you disagree with them, you're in trouble. Even in a group of free-thinking people as the Church of Satan. I feel like the doctor may have supported it as it is now, but you never know. He would have never flown their flag in front of his house. That's the deal. He would have never taken the Baphomet and put a rainbow on it and flown it in front of the house. It is redundant.
Can I say something? Because
Sure.
I got known for the Apache Whiskey Riot in San Francisco in '97, and LaVey got to see the Church of Satan in the news again. But the Bay Area Reporter, the gay magazine in San Francisco, said Leyba, though Leyba is queer tinged, he's insufficiently gay. So that was the beginning of that whole like PC Now we're in the era of like you can't even ask the wrong question to get the wrong pronouns with people. So
Right.
It seems like a lot of institutions are catering, and we're in the age of the trigger warning. So it's like what we're talking about here is authoritarianism. I mean, everybody has opinion. I don't care what they think of me. I mean, if you believe in what you believe, so why is it a big threat? And why do they feel a need to pander and follow this social script, this template? It's very suspicious the Church of Satan would be so catering to the climate of authoritarianism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very.
To me, the Baphomet has always stood for individual freedom and liberty. So to slap one's sexual preference flag on top of that is redundant, and it cheapens what Satanism actually is.
The Baphomet already encompassed all of us.
Absolutely, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
And it
seems
reduces
like a lot
it to the
apologizing and catering.
What it is, it's a big virtue signal from the church. It's virtue signaling, and it's disgusting, and it's antithetical to Satanism.
Yeah,
I don't agree with the political agenda that the church has adopted. I don't want to involve myself in politics, and I'm not going to start now.
Okay,
I'm especially not going to be bullied into supporting something that I don't want to support. Of course, I accept the LGBTQ community. Hang on. Of course, I accept the LGBTQ community, but I do not support it. In light of that fact, I know that I'm still a Satanist, even though Magus says one must support the community in order to be a Satanist. I don't support anything except for free speech. I want to make that clear. And the line between celebration and cause has been blurred. When you slap the Baphomet and the rainbow flag together, the line between cause and celebration is blurred.
And he did say that to me. He said that if I don't support them, I'm not a Satanist.
That's Cheryl off to the distance.
That's what he said to me in that email.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I said I accept it, but I don't support it. And he said, you have to support it or you're not a Satanist.
Wow.
We have the email if anybody would like to read it.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Okay, let me say one little thing about
send
this
me
really
that.
quick. Then Jeff has something to say. Yeah. Real quick. It's really weird that LaVey, the founder of Satanism, said, you are a Satanist if you read this literature and you agree with it and you see yourself in this. That's what defines a Satanist. And
Right.
it's funny that they come along and want to change it or what's going on here, and they get to deem who is and who is not a Satanist.
Well, there's no coincidence that the known creative people like left in droves in 2006.
Yeah.
In the age of the internet. Now we're in the age of social media. So Adam, it's like everyone's a politician now in Satanism. It's boring and it's institutionalized. It's like
I don't have a problem with gay people. I have gay friends. I do have a problem with the fact that they are a protected class. The LGBT is an angry mob. It's a political agenda, and it's a protected class. So I'm not going to support the LGBT movement. However, if somebody is gay and in my presence or my friend, and I deem them worthy of my friendship, absolutely. I don't have a problem with gay people at all. I want to make that clear.
Right, whatever.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm suppressed to that whole fucking template being bisexual because, they tack on the bisexual thing at the end, but, it's like you never talk about that. Like, I'm wrong because I can't choose sides, So you don't hear from the
Well, they have a Baphomet for you now.
Right.
If you log onto their website, they have a bisexual Baphomet.
Yeah, it's tribalism. Tribalism at its finest. Yeah.
Well, and it reduces it to the lowest common denominator too, as though Satanism is, just your sexual preference, and that to me is so one-dimensional. And
Right.
Yeah, right. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less as to what somebody does. And again, piggybacking off of what Adam said, it is incredibly redundant because the Baphomet already symbolizes those things. So to me, it is a large, virtue signal solely.
I think Gilmore's trying to catch up with what the Satanic Temple's been doing, and it looks really bad.
I even mentioned that in my letter.
Yeah.
But I think Adam has more to say.
Let's continue with your letter.
I told you this is going to be fucking long.
It's okay. We'll get to everyone. I have one. Jesse Blanchard wants me to read his, and
And I got to read the soft side of the devil to like balance out all this negativity. So let me, go on, Adam. But
mine is short.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
In my opinion, which we've been told many times during conversations with Peter Gilmore via email, it does not matter. Yet I'm going to state it anyway. The Church of Satan should be an administrative-only organization. It should be a neutral administrator at that. Sparse online presence. No Mama Satan patrolling the internet message boards. Make Satanism evil again. Make it mysterious. Make it secretive. Make it elitist. I'm not sure how you could ever recover from the damage that has been done, though. Anybody like to add to that before I carry on?
No, LaVey always said, like, the Church of Satan, the Satanists of Church of Satan are the productive elite. And then when Gilmore got control, it was, we're the elite. I mean, how the whole history of religion, it's like when an inferiority complex becomes a superiority complex, what happened to the productive elite? Who are the true Satanists?
Right.
Who are the true Satanists?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yep, good answer.
Yeah.
So even though it's disturbing and saddening that I must resign from the Church of Satan, it's not Dr. LaVey's organization anymore.
Oh.
It's not the Church of Satan, and I don't agree with the political agenda that the church has adopted. I will be keeping my red card and my title. I was awarded that red card and that title for things that I had accomplished, and I still am those things.
Absolutely.
I'm the same person.
They can't refuse
that title in Metro.
You know, a good friend
Sorry?
of mine actually said the only person that can remove your card is deceased. So, and that's not going to happen. So
That's correct.
I didn't know all this,
So-
man. I'm like, kudos to you for speaking out. You know, I've been there.
I also wanted to talk about, this is just off the cuff too. This is not things that I've written. The Church of Satan has always battled against people saying that they don't do anything. Well, if you read the literature and have a grasp of what Satanism is all about, the Church of Satan is not supposed to do anything. It's all been said, it's all been codified, and it's very clear. Anton LaVey did a very good job summing up Satanism, and it doesn't need to be added onto. So when you have books like The Satanic Warlock, that's supposed to be the companion to the Satanic Witch, that's a Satanism to say that that book is a companion to the Satanic Witch. There's no comparison. So that book may have stood on its own with a different title, but to call it the companion to the Satanic Witch deepens Satanism as well. And then we have more books coming from what I've read that are writing on the same coattails. And
All these self-published
terrible.
books. And these
I know the one you're talking about.
Right.
It's kind of a slap in the.
And anybody that supports drugging children with puberty blockers is abusing children and is violating the tenets of Satanism. Children have an imagination. A child can be a superhero one day and a race car the next day. And to plant the seed of doubt in a child's mind to their gender is child abuse. And to play along with that narrative and drug your child, you should be put in jail.
100%.
But that's going to be canon, I heard.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're at a time where, you know, I forget the handbook for psychiatry now. There's like a mental illness for being creative now in the latest DM, whatever the heck it's called, you know. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, you gotta like drug your kids and like do what the social template says, and then it just seems like institutional Satanism, whether it's the Satanic Temple or the Church of Satan, is pretty contrived and not for everybody's personal liberty. Sorry, it's not for mine. You know, I'm glad that, you know, Satanic Temple is going to court. I don't know what the Church of Satan is doing, but it seems very authoritarian and very like scripted, like the script now. You know,
Seems like it's all about money.
Well, let's get to Jeff's.
I'll step off my soapbox. I've said enough.
It's okay.
I feel good.
Who's this Jeff guy, and why?
I've let it go.
Why should you care about me?
He's a
for a law
Satanist.
enforcement agency. You didn't tell me he was going to be here. Well,
I have not, but many of my family have.
I've seen your file at Interpol. You should
Oh,
probably
okay.
not leave the country.
I'm not
My
that
name
interesting.
comes up all the time at Langley every time I'm in Virginia.
Well, if you're that interested, you can listen to The Devil You Know. I think I'm on what episode is that, John? 125 or something?
Sure. I don't remember.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. But anyway, I too wrote something that I'll be sending into Central tomorrow morning, actually. And I'd like to read that if that would be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. And I'm just going to read it as the letter is written. To whom it may concern, I, Jeffrey Hale, effective immediately, wish to resign from the Church of Satan. Over the last couple of years, and most notably over the last several months, I've been privy to that which is antithetical to both my personal constitution as a Satanist and to the teachings of the late Anton LaVey. I always appreciated and agreed with the Church's longtime stance of not taking sides on the vast political spectrum, but it would appear as though sides have been chosen in recent months. I also see a large push in the direction of the Satanic Temple. The Ayn Rand objectivism and social Darwinism of yore seems to be a thing of the past in the modern-day Church of Satan, too. The days of meritocracy have seemingly been replaced with identity politics. I cannot, nor will I, tolerate having my language policed by the Church, too. In the age of the tranny, it would appear as though they've become a protected class within the COS. See, for example, High Priestess Nadramia's essay entitled A Redhead Named Peggy. A piece that came about after some heated exchanges in the COS group on Facebook. I can only assume this was and is a financial decision made by the Church, as in 2019 such a class of people are seen as a lucrative investment. In 2019, it would seem as though those of us who are right-leaning politically are seen as dinosaurs and pariahs and have no place in Gilmore's church. This became all too clear recently with the treatment and excommunication of John Shaw. Satanism has always warned against the pitfalls of herd mentalities, but it would seem as though Central joined the pitchfork mob on this one rather than looking at it through an objective lens. I thank you for taking the time to read my resignation letter. If anything more is required of me, please reach out to me via email or by phone. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. So is there anything, where is the thing that you specifically said, John? Is that like on the internet? Is it just like perceived what you said? Is it like documented on the web? Like, was there something specifically that you said?
I just want to say, Jeff, wow, there's no need to mention me in it. By itself.
Oh, I know. I did that of my own free will because, I'm someone who's loyal to my friends. And, if you were in the wrong as a friend, I would have been able to look at that objectively and said so. But the treatment that I've seen is we're all John Shaw to some extent. And one day that could be us. So to me, I've got your back.
What was specifically said? Or is it just like completely blown out of proportion?
I heard all kinds of things, all kinds of claims, and never saw 1 ounce of proof. Asked for proof for a long time.
Yeah, you asked specifically. Like, hey, can you be specific?
I asked. Yeah, I asked. I received an email saying that I was in danger of losing my title. And
did the screen like on your computer go danger, 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 and then an FBI thing came up?
Not really. No, I received an email, and it said that I was in danger of losing my title, and it gave me some reasons that were very vague and just nothing specific, just very generalized. And I attributed it to the controversy that's going on between a couple of individuals and myself online. Now, everything that I've ever said online is true, and it's based in science or logic, reason. It's backed up with all that type of evidence. Now, what their side is all feelings and emotions. You know what I mean?
You don't believe in the emotional truth?
No. So no, I believe emotions get in the way, and most intelligent people do. So they never had any evidence of things. It was just how I was making them feel with my words, my very harsh satanic words, and they don't want to. They're not interested in science. They want you're making me feel bad. You have to use this pronoun. You have to say that. I don't have to do shit. Like Adam said earlier, if I like you and I consider you a friend, I will treat you with the utmost respect because you deserve my respect. But if I think you're an asshole, I'm gonna treat you like a fucking asshole that you are, and I'm gonna say everything I can to hurt you mentally, emotionally, and just shake your whole foundation because I find you weak. And
Hate your enemies with a whole heart.
Yeah, hate your enemies with a whole heart. That's LaVey though. So anyway, I figured it was, the whole threat of demotion thing was because of that stuff. So at that point, I even told Peter, I was like, look, that's it. I'm done. I won't even respond to these idiots, right?
Okay, so
a week later,
it sounds like they pushed you into a corner, right?
Well,
they didn't
yeah,
send
of
you
course.
like you lost your title. They like wanted you to be defensive. It sounds like they were fucking like bullying. It sounds like bullying. That's
of course. But I didn't want any crap like that to happen because these idiots think of it as a win, and it's not. It's if you really step out of the whole big box, it made the whole thing look bad. So anyway, the thing that I was threatened with the demotion about a week later, and I stopped responding to these people, blocked them, whatever. I said I'm done.
Yeah.
I was actually demoted. And I didn't do anything in between the threatened of the demotion to the demotion. I didn't do anything in between there.
But you got an email saying you were demoted to what? Civilian?
From priest to warlock.
Oh God, who wants to be a warlock? They took away my Masters of the Universe title.
Yeah. No,
I love that title.
It's all a big make believe thing. I mean, I get it. It's not. It has no. The title has no real world.
It does if it's from somebody you respect. LaVey made me a priest. I became. He didn't ask me to be public. I went public because I wanted to. He didn't want people to be a martyr, but it's like if it means something to you personally, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was demoted. I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever, and I stopped, replying to these things or addressing these things that I would keep seeing online. They couldn't stop talking about me. I'm some sort of thread or I don't know. They got no life going on. Whatever the reason is, it's John Shaw.
You're so Leyba 2006.
Okay. So, and I'm Crowley, and I'm everybody that they've ever had a problem with. This is a cyclical thing. If you look through the history,
are you guys familiar? My friend Rex Church, he resigned. He sent a very polite letter. He's a generational Satanist. His family were Generation Church of Satan. He's like, I'm not an atheist, and I don't like the rhetoric of atheism. I'm going to resign. And he's a personal friend of Gilmore and Peggy. I mean, I spent time with them all together. So it was like scumbags, It's like this guy sent a heartfelt letter and Gilmore shamed him on the COS website. I was like, that's really silly.
Well, that goes back to the whole, if you're leaving or we throw you out, you're a detractor, and all this magic crap that you are. And all of a sudden you're turned into a fucking, demigorgon from another time or something, whatever it is. But my point is with this whole thing, I stopped with the title demotion. I stopped replying to these idiots. I stopped giving into it. I didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything at that point.
So about a week and a half after that, my membership was terminated. Now,
so you got an email saying it was terminated.
Yeah, email. Yeah.
So you're like, I didn't even get that. Well, I'm jealous.
Oh, geez, yeah. At least I got that. So the thing was, though, I'm thinking, how when this happens, I'm reading it and I'm thinking to myself, what transpired between the threat of losing my title to the losing of the title to the actual termination of membership? I haven't offensively done a fucking thing, man. Like nothing. I've asked for proof. I've asked for explanation. I'm always met with, I'm not going to get into it with you. We're not going to get into it with you. You this and that. We've told you through the years of this and that and this and that. But everything that they've ever said was all gobbledygook, man. It was not. We're supposed to be individuals, and my thoughts about something might not be in line with someone else's thoughts about it. And now you got people that are in control of this thing that if they have something different in their mind than someone else, they're not welcome here anymore. That's not what
reminds me a lot of the the things that they said about Koresh when his congregation were criticizing him? It seems a lot like the same words, like, we're not going to tell you exactly why, but you're not in good standing
Well, because
anymore.
yeah, I mean, I've watched videos on I mean,
poor management.
it's poor management, actually, yeah. But the thing is, like, that's happening everywhere in society, you get that everywhere. Any authoritative, and I use these quotes with my fingers, authoritative figure, when they don't want to explain or they don't want to get into it, or they have no proof, I should say. There's no proof, there's no solid evidence behind their claims. That's the go-to thing. We're not going to get into it.
There is the emotional truth.
That's the
Most
emotional
people
truth.
deny.
Yeah.
I really
But
feel like we shouldn't be friends anymore because you're not beneficial to my agenda.
Yeah, I'll get into the friend thing in a minute. Jeff, what were you saying?
no, I was just going to say that I think it just boils down to they're pandering to the mob, and they're trying to appease certain individuals, and I think that is
Why?
going to, in the long run, backfire because it's a lucrative investment right now, as I touched on in my letter.
Is it? See, I don't know about that.
What is right now? Who knows what'll happen?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wondered about that in 2006 with the whole
Well,
internet.
the real
thing.
kicker for me,
Like,
Yeah,
if I got I don't know, like
the
$10,000.
real kicker for me is, they can label you a bad guy.
Hold
and
on.
they can kick you out.
Okay, yeah.
Nobody kicked me out. I never felt like an insider. I was.
They can label you a bad guy all day long, and for whatever reason, kick you out. But the fact that Marlene was shunned after you got kicked out, you did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I thought we were individuals.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, I think.
Good point.
Does Marlene not stand up on her own?
Yeah, and
Wait.
she wrote them a little thing. You know what?
So wait. Who's Marlene?
My wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
She wrote them a little short little thing about it and resigned. Well, I don't know if you wanted to read it or what.
Yeah, read it. I want to hear it.
Just
Okay,
to say,
yeah, it's nothing
just
big.
to agree with you, Adam, that's exactly what happened to me. I was ousted, shunned, and
From the online groups, which
right from
is what
the
it
but
became.
still no explanation.
Yeah.
Weeks went by, never received word, was never treated like an individual, free of my own thought. Simply because I'm John Schwant's wife, I just must completely agree with him on every single matter.
Yeah.
We're like one person, and I can't be my own individual.
Yeah.
So after I think the same morning that you received your letter, it was when I was removed as well.
From the Facebook groups.
Right. From
And
several
I
groups,
could see where they
actually.
wouldn't. Okay, well, we didn't want John Shaw to get access to it or see these things.
But there's other
that's-
members though that have spouses that are not members and they're allowed in.
Well, yeah, but you're
What do you
talking-
mean?
Well, well, they're not John Shaw. Yeah. You forgot how powerful I am. So
You're a special kind of bad guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm the devil, and I have a screenshot of Peter Gilmore telling me that. But
Are you here to do the devil's work?
yeah, of course.
I'm pretty sure the devil wouldn't care about Gilmore and his work. I'm sure you have better things to do.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. Here's the thing with I was friends with them. I thought anyway. We spent time in their house, eating lunch, going places a couple of times. Friends with a lot of people. I've had them in my home. Blanche Barton stayed in my home 2 separate occasions. Stayed with us through the weekend. On the back of my motorcycle on the way to Vegas and back, and we're becoming friends.
Whoa. You got any pictures? Wow.
I do.
Any video?
I do. No video.
That's
just
got to be
some
like
photos.
B-roll in your movie.
Oh no, I got some video and stuff. Yeah,
Right, like, that's the elephant in the room, right? We all love Blanche, but she's the elephant in the room.
Well, she
Right?
wrote me a letter too, filled with some pretty hurtful words, and I think after reading it, she was accusing me of these things that I know that other members have done. I'm not going to name any names, but there's 3 or 4 other members that did these things that she was accusing me of, and I wrote back telling her that you're not talking about me here. But then Peter said that he agrees wholeheartedly with her letter. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, somebody's not getting information. That's what I've come up with. Either either Peter and Peggy got wrong information or Blanche got wrong information, but I don't know which way the line of communication goes or flows.
Disinformation. It's disinformation. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
destabilization through disinformation. It's a tactic. It's a military tactic.
Yeah.
You know, it's psychological.
It's plain as day what they're doing. And the sheep get in line, because like I was saying on Facebook, I was all of a sudden losing like friends on Facebook. People were blocking me, and I'm going, wait a minute, I was in your home, and we had I gave you gifts, and we shared bread, and you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. I even reached out to him, like, what are you doing? Like, why? Well, in light of this and that, just because you get kicked out, you can't be friends, and we can't support you, and we can't. And I'm thinking, that's Catholic, man. That is not satanic at all. That is like, am I wrong?
What
here?
a bunch of pussies is what I think about that.
Yeah, of course,
Jesus.
but it's so strange. Like you can't call yourself a Satanist, man, and behave that way. Like
you can if you put the word institutional Satanist. If you put the word institutional in front of Satanist, that makes sense to me. You're an institutional Satanist.
Yeah.
You're a politician. You're a politician on social media. I get it. I'm an artist. That's how I make my fucking living.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I have an image, and I blur my image, my personal life in my image, and it's messed up my personal relationships. But it's like, if it's a business, I get it. They're institutional Satanists.
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys have evolved to another point. And I feel it. I know I've been there, and you guys are like, you're feeling pain and like hate and like anger, and number one is like being like injustice, which is bullshit. Because if they had a good reason, even if it was wrong, they said A, B, C, and you're like, that's totally wrong. Fuck you. That would be okay. No, it's like a mind fuck. Yeah. They're like, we're not really going to say what the hell is going on here. You're just a bad person.
I get that. If I was, I get all that, those tactics and those things, but the character assassination thing is just.
Well, really,
we've seen things that aren't even true. You have no proof of anything. Nobody has shown me proof of anything. I've asked members to ask other people, like, ask for proof. Like, somebody show me. Nothing, dude. Nothing. I think the worst thing was a private conversation between, look, I could say this because it went public, and I, 4.5 years ago or something. And I said, the worst thing I said in there, because everything else was true based on medicine or science or whatever. I think I used the term mutilated penis, saying that it's not a vagina, so it's a mutilated penis.
Ow!
And I think that's the worst thing. And I'm reading all through these things that he posted publicly. I'm reading through every single one of them, and I'm going, okay, yeah, I said that. That's true. Like, what? Nothing was wrong with what I said, but you have...
Well, I take that personally because I actually bleed. I stick a needle in my penis to put my blood on my paintings, and I didn't know you did that. I'm totally offended. I don't even know why I'm on your show. You totally demean my artwork. I could sue you. I'm probably not going to sell a painting because of you.
John, you just touched on something, and I can point out a specific time with Lorcan's book. He was pressured to take you out of his book.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Lorcan was pressured to take me out by people. Okay, now listen, the group of people that we're talking about here are do-nothings. They didn't contribute to the book. They don't contribute to anything. And they're telling him that he should take me out of the book, which was some of the best words in there, I might add, and I mean that. Read anything that I said. It's fucking great.
Wait, what book is this?
Satan Calling. Satan Calling. Yeah, if you haven't gotten it, get it. It's awesome. But I like, they were pressuring him to take me out. They're not even going to buy it. These people that are pressuring him to do it. But you know what?
That sounds like a death
I bet you
threat
they bought it because I'm in it. I bet you they fucking bought it. And they're not going to say it or admit it, but you fucking got the book, asshole.
Because they can't stop thinking about your mutilated penis.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. And I had people call me on the phone after that. Like, I mean, I'm talking about hierarchy members. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't stab my friends in the back. But they would use the words like, what they did was despicable, or just there's kind of
puritanical.
What they did, yeah, they're really, like, what they did was disgusting, things like that. I'm hearing all left and right. People calling me like, "What are you gonna do? You should sue." All these different things, and I'm like, no. I don't care about it.
I've heard it as well from a lot of hierarchy members as well.
What's that? I didn't hear you. Adam, I didn't hear you.
Adam, you're there. You
Who?
froze up.
I can't hear
Oh,
you.
I've heard the same from a lot of members of the hierarchy as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing, what I was saying before, I never cared about a title. I didn't ask for a title. I never, chased a rank like a lot of
Right,
people
same.
are blatantly doing out
Same
there.
here.
And, I was actually asked to join. I joined, boom, a year and a half later, I'm a priest. I was honored by it. And I took it very seriously. But like you said,
Okay,
they want to dictate.
But you haven't
What?
changed. Since
I haven't
you
changed.
received
That's the thing too. I haven't.
today.
I'm the same person I was my whole fucking life. Man. I've
Everybody's
always
so
said these
different. You
things.
haven't changed.
Yeah,
But
I've said the
that's
same
MO.
things over and over. I've acted the same way, said the same things, and all
Okay.
through that, I was raised to a priest. And then I go
That
on
is the
saying
that is
same
the pattern.
things.
That is the pattern. The actual individuals are ranked, and the people that are not active Satanists doing their life and their personal liberties, they want to get these ranks, and the people that get the ranks are people that get the ranks because of what they're doing in the actual world, and that's what LaVey did.
Yeah.
So when these people, they cannot like whatever the hell John is doing, I can't explain it to the people that are just throwing money and trying to get the ranks.
Yeah.
So you got to go. The productive elite have to make way for the elite. We're not the elite. We're just the productive elite.
So she'll remove the goats so they can have the sheep. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Hmm.
I mean, who's paying the bills?
It's funny. Here's another thing I've noticed out of this really quickly though, is that everybody that jumps on board and like doesn't can't associate with me or is considered an enemy of me for some whatever reason is going on in their head, they don't produce a damn thing. They don't create anything. They don't do anything. Their life
Thank you. I say that all the time.
Yeah, their life is complaining about John Shaw. Now, all my friends and people who've been loyal and people who've been supportive of me are some of the most creative, productive people I've ever met in my entire life. Talented, skilled people. I mean, think about that for a second. Everyone who's listening to my voice right now should really just think about that for 1 second.
I never fucking heard you. I like you. You're passionate and you have an authentic voice of what you're going through, and I can identify personally. So that is authentic and real to me,
Yeah, I mean,
you're not an institutionalized Satanist.
No, I'm just a Satanist.
Right.
So I got to read one really quick here from Jesse Blanchard. He wanted me to read this. He couldn't make it. He's in the government and he just has to do his thing and excuse me, couldn't read it here. But he said in his letter, excuse me, Infertile Greetings, Church of Satan Administration. Thank you for keeping alive the legacy which Magus Anton left. It has been a growing experience and honor to be a part of satanic history by affiliating with the Church of Satan as a member of the Infernal Empire. I appreciate having the opportunity afforded me to interact with the Church of Satan to learn from the diverse walks of lives of its members. With the liberation, skepticism, and freedom of choice we have in our lives to live as we see fit, we must all make decisions which is in our best interest to facilitate our enjoyment in the great indulgence which is life. Unfortunately, due to fundamental differences, I find that the religious organization, the Church of Satan, no longer aligns with my aims to accomplish such. For this reason, I am choosing to... Where am I? I lost my spot here because I had to go to another screen. For this reason, I am choosing to resign my membership with the Church of Satan. If at any time these irreconcilable differences were to change, I would gladly consider reevaluating my position in life and the position of the administration for the potential of rejoining. Thank you for your willingness to consider me as a member. Hopefully in the future, the organization may choose to benefit from that which I have to offer. Take care, Satan. Jesse Blanchard. So he had, he wanted me to read that, and maybe we could talk about it for a little bit. There's been others, that have sent their. Where am I? What screen am I on? There we go.
See, I'm just keying into some of this, but I don't like the fact that attacking people's partners. I don't like that. What the heck is that? You know,
Oh,
whether
like
they're a member or not, that's not cool.
yeah.
You know, that's trying to like, you know, stick the doo-doo stick in the hornet's nest. You know, that's like they want you to do something, say something, so you seem like crazy because that's what they did to me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'd like to add too that when I put my feelers out for this episode, there were quite a few others that agreed and don't want to resign. They just want to fade off.
Fade off. That's exactly what they said to me. Yeah. Yep. Fade off.
So, and these are all people that are doing things in life. I'm not going to out anybody out of respect for them.
Well, you kind of just did because you said the people that are doers.
Okay.
No,
We
all know
those
who
are few
people
outstanding
are.
individuals, man.
But
Fuck.
they're not complainers. Doers aren't complainers.
Yeah. But
I'd like to read something I wrote to LaVey.
Sure.
okay.
It's called The Soft Side of the Devil. I know it sounds kind of weak and, you know, kind of pussy thing to say, but let me just read it and then we can continue. Soft Side of the Devil. You said so many things more profound than Jesus Christ. My friend, you said the things that meant something. You said it to the world. Some of us actually listened. The first time we met in that meat-filled San Francisco restaurant, I was impressed with how down-to-earth you were, your sardonic wit. It hit me hard and deep like a modern Samuel Clemens, an idealist in the way of the junkyard philosopher. You sold the real deal to the right ones and the wrong deals to the wrong ones. Very soft spot in your hardness and a hardness in your soft spots. Your truth had a bite as it should. Your actions shocked me awake. It moved mountains and it opened doors. You helped me pull things out of the hat I could never put back. Would never want to. LaVey, Leyba, love you. Thank you. You made me laugh till I screamed. Sometimes goofy, yet profound. Funny, yet brutal. However mean some people seeing you were equally kind to those that deserved it. Dr. LaVey, it's Leyba. How you been? We spoke of society's need to improve. You manifested your will into your workings. Your influence helped mine to work it in the world. You were right. You inspired. You gave me strength to enter this world full throttle. You had wisdom that sparked mine out of a pipe dream. Some saw you as a charlatan. You were profound. You were a trickster, a force of nature. You forced human nature to assert its will. Hey, Leyba. LaVey, it's Leyba. Thank you. You were right. Life is the great indulgence and death is the great abstinence. Thank you, LaVey.
Interesting.
It was like conversation to like a person, you know. I couldn't imagine having that with Gilmore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Gilmore didn't teach me anything. You know, Gilmore had he was like one time he was bitching about LaVey to me. You know, before 666 and after LaVey died, he's like, you know, like LaVey just didn't get it. And he's like, and this is a joke, but he didn't see it as a joke. He saw it as LaVey being like a fucking down market asshole. He's like, we're visiting LaVey in San Francisco and like we're gonna go out to dinner. It's like, you know, Peggy and Peter and Blanche and LaVey were like, let's go to the Olive Garden. And Gilmore's like, I ain't going to no bourgeois like middle class Olive Garden. Okay, we'll go tonight. And the next night, and Gilmore's telling me this, he's like, yeah, the next night we're gonna like figure out where we're gonna go to dinner. And LaVey said Olive Garden, and it was like, I can't believe it. I'm like, I think he was making a joke because he knew you didn't like the Olive Garden and you didn't get it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. You know, when I joined the Church of Satan. I've always felt like my sense of humor was maybe offensive to others, so I've always held it back. And I've learned to not do that recently. But there's no sense of humor anymore.
Right.
Humor, nobody has a sense of humor. None of the hierarchy goes around. It's not funny. It's not fun. I thought we would have fun, and the only fun that I've had is the rituals at my house and at John's house, and times with good friends, people that I could actually call on the phone if I had a problem. John, if I have a problem, I call you. You're available anytime. I call you at midnight, and you would answer the phone.
Yeah.
Peter, no, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I expected fun. I expected
right, fun or funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the class. Sorry, John.
No, you go ahead.
But what I was going to say is the class of people that they are protecting currently, comedy has been taken out of the equation. So, because the sound of laughter really pisses some people off because it's the last thing you can't control.
Right. Wait, can I tell a racist joke?
Hey, I'm sorry. Well, I got to say something though. I mean, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Adam really set this whole thing up here. It's awesome.
Thanks, Adam.
Yes, thanks for thinking of me.
It's great to
My pleasure.
It's great to talk about these things. If anybody, leave comments, good or bad. I don't, whatever. You're going to say what you want. You're going to believe what you want. We're not doing this to bash anybody. We're not doing this to single out anyone or anything like that. We just want to speak our mind about our experience and our our belief that some things have changed, and we welcome everyone to just maybe step outside the box. We don't want you to quit. We don't want you to stay. We don't want you, whatever the journey's yours, but just keep an eye on and look outside that box every once in a while, and just make sure that what you're doing is what you should be doing.
Like, think about personal justice and injustice and the authoritarian times we live in, because we're moving towards artificial intelligence and an autocorrect society. So whatever you do and however you think and what you say, it's like you silence other people, your day's coming.
Yep.
You don't have to agree with anybody.
Right.
I don't agree with any of you guys. You guys are totally like, you're going to burn in hell and heaven on earth.
Yeah. Most of the people that go after a certain individual or a certain group of people, they don't understand when you go after them and you go after this one, you go after that, and you go after this one, the last one to go after is you. Now they're going after you. So
We're all John Shaw, as I said earlier.
Right.
That's funny. We're all John Shaw.
Yeah, the echo chamber gets a little bit louder, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
I
gone.
was just thinking that. Yep.
There's more echo in there now.
That's the emotional
Cheryl.
truth. That's the anger
You
coming
like
through. The
I'm sitting
technology
next to
cannot
Cheryl.
suppress the anger and the injustice,
Yeah.
and we're not going to shut the fuck up. We're going to we're going to speak our mind, and it's like interesting that it's such a threat to some of these people, because it'd be better just like ignore them. I'm meaning us.
Yeah, but that's what
Just
people have
ignore
done in
us.
the past. They go their own way. That they've done this too. They've ousted you, or people quit, and then nobody's ever talked about it. Nobody's said anything or said their piece or got it out, which is a great and healthy thing to do. But
Yeah,
discussion
you,
is
Peter
great.
Gilmore.
No,
And you too, Peggy.
yeah. Anyway, that's not. That's just Steven's thing.
Hey, I know.
I'm not saying that. I think that
I am. I'm saying
everybody that has gone in the past, they kind of just left it to themselves, and it's cyclical. They keep doing it to someone else, and they'll do it to someone else again and again. But I think speaking up or saying something or just making people go, "Hey, wait a minute here," I don't. There's nothing on the other end of the equal sign. It doesn't.
it's
drive. It's not driving.
institutional satanic abuse. Institutional satanic abuse. And I'm holding
The whole new
back.
moral panic.
Holding back. I have a team of attorneys pro bono. I'm not even kidding.
Mar, you were going to say something. What
But-
were you going to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that after all of this, actually over the months of this transpiring,
Yeah.
it's amazing how many people, I mean, they would be horrified if they knew what some people were saying about them, about administration. I mean, but these people, they don't say anything either. They never speak up, they never say anything, but they will do it behind their backs. And what does that do? What purpose does that have?
Well,
it just perpetuates the whole thing.
It's good to get that support privately and things like that.
Sure, I understand that.
But a lot of people, for whatever reason, like I said, the journey is theirs. They're not going to want to jump into the frying pan. Nobody wants to jump into the fire.
But many of them agree, and they say
things. They agree wholeheartedly. And some of them
my
are
point
resigning.
Is, though, my point
whatever,
is that you should be able to speak your mind, and you shouldn't be censored or and that's not what's happening.
No, the threat.
Well, also
is one thing, but why is it a threat? That's the weirdest part.
Right.
Why is it a threat?
Exactly.
Well, the problem just metastasizes at that point when nobody is holding anybody accountable. That's just the truth. So, the fact that
they don't have accountable accountants. I mean, if they did, they'd probably make a lot of money.
I was saying they better be pro bono.
Yeah. So what it comes down to, and this is my conclusion, and thank all you guys because this has been amazing. What we've been talking about, that ain't a big enough story for me to live in. Yeah. It's like, and it's also like the 6-pack test. Would I want to go have a 6-pack with Peter or Peggy now? I don't think so. Like, where did you take it? I known you all these years ago, and now I don't. Yeah, no, it's just not a big enough story for me to live in.
Yeah,
it's like, yawn. Sorry.
Time to write our own.
I feel sorry for them because I feel sorry. Like Francis Bacon did paintings of Velasquez paintings of the Pope as being trapped by their rhetoric and their religion, and that's how I felt about Peter and Peggy. They're trapped.
Yeah.
And I'm not being all Christian-y, like I feel sorry for them. I'm like, you're fucking trapped. Better than you than me.
Yeah.
Well, once they let this new breed, take more control, it's going to be an out of control cancer, I fear. But that's on those individuals.
Yeah, but that's what happens in offshoots.
Right. Exactly. Well said.
Yeah.
Well, a copy of a copy of a copy. Yeah. Yeah. Where does that leave? Degeneration.
A lot of us when we join, we think of it as a certain way, and we think of LaVey. It's always LaVey in mind when. And what the hell? Oh.
I thought
you fell on your fucking ass.
I thought he fell. I didn't think the camera fell.
Great disappearing act.
He's like, if I swallow this gasoline and light this match, he's like, poof, just gone. That was crazy. But what I was saying, people,
I never joined. I was my first wife said I was assimilated. I was the token lefty brown person, even though I'm not completely brown. I'm kind of beige.
Yeah.
I'm mixed blood.
Everybody's beige.
In their own way. Beige supremacy.
What I mean by all that, though, you're joining, you want to throw in your lot with everyone because there's this fantasy and mystery, and you think of LaVey and you want to be part of that magic circle, and it's just not that anymore. I joined the Freemasons, and I learned the hard way that that's not like the way it was anymore. It's not like the way it was when it first started out. The
only thing I ever joined was the Cub Scouts, and I regretted that. And
those aren't like it is anymore. Now you got girls in the Boy Scouts, but
I don't have a problem with that.
Everything, yeah, that's fine.
Well,
I mean,
one thing I'd like to add is
everything's convoluted.
Yeah.
Magic is all within us, though. It's all within us. It's not within them or any group that you can join. It's all within you.
Yeah.
I spent some. This is off topic, but I think it's totally in topic. So I've spent time with medicine men, indigenous, not just North America, and they're divorcing themselves from the activists. And there's this whole environmentalist movement, and they're divorcing themselves because of all the ego bullshit. And everybody wants to be a fucking cult leader and a fucking Black Panther and Abe. And they're like, nah, we're moving like past the ego shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know? So there's new territory to be had they're just trying to control the narrative. That's how I see it.
All right. Well, I think we've got it out.
I think we beat the black sheep to death now. Now what?
I say we
What are
go
we
and
gonna
we ever forward, and we go on our journeys, man, and make suck the marrow out of the bone of life. And
Never going to talk to any of you guys. I'm going to send you like excommunication letters. I'm going to hear from my lawyers and all my ex-wives.
I still want to see that picture of shit. So
Yeah. Okay. I need to
get
find
that to me. I'll put it on. I'll put it on the show.
I didn't make it up. You can ask Chris X.
Yeah.
Just don't ask him in public. You got to ask him in private.
Yep. But the main thing.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on and doing that. Thank you, Jesse, Cheryl, Adam, Stephen, Marlene.
Thank you.
And if people come forward and want to maybe talk about things in the future, we can have another episode and talk about it and get your story out. And your
I'm going to come to Phoenix and we're going to share a 6-pack and see what happens.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll fly out for that.
Nice.
Hail Satan.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.